Hi, I'm Marcus Jackman. I'm the pastor at Copper Hills Church in Harriman, Utah. 10 years ago, I was in the nation of South Africa as they were preparing, and it was the last few months before they would host the World Cup. And I could see the economic development money being poured in. And even as I could see that, I could see the disparity, the dichotomy, block to block, township to township, street to street, the long-term effects of apartheid that had been abolished years before, but the effects were still being felt. And I kept thinking, since we're talking about the World Cup and getting ready for a big soccer tournament, I kept thinking about what it is to have a level playing field and what it's like to have an unlevel playing field. And I think in a lot of ways, that's part of the question that we're wrestling with as the United States endures all of this racial disunity, and it has been brought out, and tension has been brought out in a way that we haven't seen for many years. The Proverbs speaks to that. We're looking at Proverbs as an extended discussion of the way of wisdom. What is it to conform our lives, to orient our lives around the Lord's heart? That is what biblical wisdom is. I form my life after His heart, His values, His priorities. That's what wisdom is. And so Proverbs 11:1 speaks to this situation of what a level playing field is and what it is not. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight, a fair weight, is His delight. This is an image from the marketplace. And what is the Lord saying here? He says He hates inequity and privilege that is seized or protected by power or position. A privilege or an advantage, abuse of others, taking advantage, is an abomination to Him. That word for abomination there is the same word that's used in other passages about bringing a diseased animal for an offering, or the pagans bringing their own children to be sacrificed to their gods. And how detestable, how disgusting. That is an abomination to the Lord. So before we talk about what would ever happen and what should be done or what has or has not been done, if we are to walk in the way of wisdom, we have to understand that the Lord's heart finds an unjust weight, a false balance. He finds that abominable, detestable, disgusting to Him. And if we are to walk in wisdom, we are to orient our lives along with His values. And a just weight, a fair weight, an equal weight, is His delight. If we believed that this is the Lord's heart, might it change at least the way in which we have our discussions in this time? If I believed that He hates a false balance, if He hates anything but that perfect level playing field, that he finds a just weight to be delightful and beautiful and pleasing to Him, would that change the way that I engage in any of these discussions? Would it change the way that you do? Which one has a priority in my heart? The Lord's delight for a just weight, or something else? I mean, what are we after when our statements are argued against or we feel triggered? And social media shows that both the left and the right are pretty easily triggered, I think. Do we act as if the Lord's delight is our highest good? Or is bitterness, mistrust, greed, a desire to get even, or fear, is that driving us to desire to keep a finger down on one side of the scales, to give ourselves just a little bit of an edge, or to keep an edge, or to seize back an edge? What's driving that for us? What would be different about the way we're all talking with one another about this racial disunity and conflict and the fears that it brings? If we counted His delight as our highest good, if we found that a false balance was an abomination to Him, and so we wanted to flee from that. I'm not here to say I know exactly what we should do. There are other people, godly, intelligent people, that are debating that and what is right and equitable and true and good and faithful. I'm here to ask about your heart. I'm not here to argue for any policy or against any policy. Are our hearts inclined towards the Lord's values? Are we walking in wisdom? And do we want to flee from false balances because they're an abomination to Him? And do we want to cherish a just, fair, equitable weight because it delights him. And that's our heartbeat too. Is that me? Is that us? I pray that you would be blessed to know the Lord's heart, to feel the Lord's heart, and to love what he loves, for he loves you. He has given his son for you in the ultimate display of an unjust weight, an unjust balance, because on Jesus was laid the guilt of your and my sin. He has endured that which he does not call us to give to others. He has endured that punishment that was delivered unjustly, but that punishment brought us peace, peace with God. And now we're to walk in his ways. What does that look like for you today? Bless you.